Okie dokie. Let us do some homework problems. We're going to solve this inequality and graph the solution on the number line and give our answer in inequality notation. So usually we're using interval notation. When I say inequality notation, it just means like x greater than or equal to 2. All right, let's get kicking. That's not the word. 8x plus 8 is less than or equal to 16. So solve this just like we'd solve an equation. Subtract 8 from both sides. Tells us that 8x has to be less than or equal to 8. Divide both sides by a positive 8. If it were dividing or multiplying by a negative, we'd have to reverse the inequality. But we're not. Should be all the numbers to the left of 1. On a number line, it'll look like this. Let's input this into MyOpenMath. As a side note, all the time with online homework, it's best if you do the whole problem on your own paper, and only at the end do you actually put it into the computer. That's going to be way better for you. And it also is a lot easier for me to answer questions, because then you can just send me all of this, right? And it's much easier to look at. Don't try to do things in your head. Actually have a piece of paper in front of you when you're doing these problems. Okay, so we said it should be a closed circle at positive 1. And then everything to the left. Hopefully that's right. And, oh, not interval notation. It says inequality. X is less than or equal to. And when you're typing it, you can literally write a less than sign and then an equal sign, and it does it automatically. Or you can go over to here to inequalities. Positive 1. See how we did. 1 out of 1. That's a nice thing. All right, let's do number 7 next. Solve the equation 5x minus 2 equals 16. Why did I choose this one? I don't know. More practice. So isolate the absolute value. We've already done that. Let's do 9 instead. I'm not that hungry. Let's do a longer problem. 5 minus 3 times x plus 1 is greater than 2. Oh well. This is not actually a equation anymore. This is an inequality, but these are harder anyway. So get that absolute value by itself. Subtract 5 from both sides. That'll give us that negative 3 times the absolute value of x plus 1. It's bigger than now negative 3. And don't panic. You see absolute value, you see a negative, but we're not done yet. We divide both sides by negative 3. Now the absolute value is by itself. We divide it by a negative number, so the inequality switches. The right hand's positive 1. So again, we know what this is going to look like. This is a positive absolute value. I say positive absolute value. This is what a negative absolute value would look like. Okay, but whenever we're isolating an absolute value, it's actually always going to be positive at the end. Anyway, and we're curious, when is that less than 1? Well, if we find the 2 points, are we going to be within the interval or outside the interval? We're going to have to be inside the interval, right? So let's find out, when is absolute value of x plus 1 equal to positive 1? That'll find the x coordinates here. That's true when the inside is positive 1, but it's also true when the inside's negative 1. Because the absolute value will still turn it into a positive 1. That's when x is 0 and when x is negative 2. So we know our answer is going to be between negative 2 and 0. But if we wanted to double check, we can make a number line. Say negative 2 is here. 0 is here. I think it should be, right? These are less than 1. smaller inside. So let's test a number on the inside, maybe -1. At -1 is, and again, you can either use this inequation or this inequation. At -1, is the absolute value of -1 plus 1, is that less than 1? Yeah, 0 is less than 1. Good. Inside the interval checks out. And similarly, you could find that something over here didn't check out, something over here didn't check out. So we have to be inside this interval. We'll use open circles because we don't have inclusion here. Oof. All right. So in interval notation, our answer will be -2 up to 0. Now we can input that into MyOpenMath. It does want interval notation. So bracket, -2 up to 0, bracket. See how we did? Wait, it's not brackets. Who said brackets? I hope you were laughing at me. Hope you're having a big laugh saying, Jason, what the heck are you looking at? All right, open circles, just like I said. Gosh, we're going to use parentheses. Hope y'all had a good laugh about that. Hungry brain, hungry brain. All right, here we go. Hope all of you aren't going through these videos back to back. That's even longer for you. But if you are, I respect your work ethic, or maybe you're procrastinating a lot. Anyway, let's do 11b to finish this. So 11's multi-parts. I want to look at B, reminder about fractions. Solve it. It doesn't tell you how to input your answer. I wonder if it matters. I didn't notice this when I assigned the problem. 2 is less than or equal to x over 7. I just wanted fractions. Plus 8. So let's subtract 8 from both sides. -6 is less than or equal to x over 7. And now we multiply both sides by 7. The left-hand side becomes -42. The right-hand side becomes 7. So -42 has to be smaller than x. It means that x has to be at least -42. So if we use inequality notation, does it like that? I don't know. It does. I didn't answer the first and the third problem. Does it like interval notation? Remember, infinity, you can type it a couple different ways. You can write 0, 0, do infinity, or you can click the button. Is it like this? Oh, it doesn't. Okay, well, I'll edit this to tell you what form to use. All right, let me know if you have any questions and have a good rest of your day. Good luck with the homework.